Alright, what is up everybody? It's Lids and we're back for some more Pyre, and last time round, we made it, sort of, all the way. We had the Liberation Rite, which we succeeded in, and we had to choose which of our teammates to send to freedom. And we chose Jodariel, and I think that was the correct decision. You know, she's been here in the downside for the longest, supposedly, and for that reason, I think she was deserving of getting her freedom first. But now there's that question of, okay, what happens now? Because according to this Treebeard guy, this is just the beginning of his master plan to maybe get everyone freed. But if not, then maybe we need to go through and free people one by one through the same process. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure I believe this whole entity, but let's see what people have to say. You find Hedwyn on his own after Jodariel's liberation. You sense straight away what is on his mind. The two of them were close through much of his life. He looks up at you, but his familiar smile is nowhere to be found. I'm sorry, my friend. I should be in much better mood right now. It's just, I can't believe she's gone. Then he shakes his head. Listen to me. I'm talking like she's... He falls silent again. You can tell he needs some time to himself right now. He turns to leave. Wait. Hold on. Don't leave me here just yet. First of all, my friend, thank you. I don't like to think of it in quite these terms, but out of all of us, I really hope she'd managed to get out of here. She's been here the longest. Not to mention, I'd probably be dead 10 times over by now, if not for her. What's more, maybe other than Volfred himself, I have a feeling she's really going to make an impact on this plan of ours. Back on the other side. So this is the plan. Volfred's ambitious plot to spark a revolution in the Commonwealth as peacefully as possible. Plan's current probability of success. Interesting. So we were wondering last time. We saw this description of it in our last go-round, and I think the probability of success said 17%. And I was wondering if that would actually change in response to the things that we do. And after freeing Jodariel, apparently we've boosted that up from 17 or thereabouts up to 25. I mean, it still doesn't sound like a very probable plan, but I suppose it's an improvement, and that would suggest that there's still a long way to go. So we'll see. Just the same, though, I am going to miss her. You and Hedwyn share some memories of Jodariel for a time, though it grows clear to you that he needs some time alone. Thanks again, my friend. I hope that one day all of us can meet again. Jody should be happy on that day, I bet. It is very late now. We part ways after bidding each other a good evening. Okay. Don't think there's anything else in here for us right now. So we continue our journey, and in all honesty, I'm not sure where we go from here. Path to freedom beckons you to press on, but where to? Do we head back?
Good morning, my boy. The place I noted earlier. Let me illuminate the way.
Moonlight Alcove. Small landing on the dark side of the sacred mountain. Volfred indicates to wait the next cycle of the rite. The next cycle of the rites. Okay. Yes, so that would suggest that we have, that was the end of our first quote-unquote cycle in which we freed Jodariel, but next time round we'll look to free someone else, and maybe that's kind of the way it works, is that with each cycle we look to free someone new, and if we're successful, then the probability of Volfred's plan succeeding increases, and if not, then I don't know if it stays the same, if it gets worse, but Volfred leads you all into a calm and quiet clearing, tucked away inside one of the mountain's hidden folds. All about, you see a variety of strange items and equipment. Strange items and equipment? What's this all about? Alright, well, we have Volfred to talk to. You find Volfred seemingly lost in thought. Then he turns to you.
Greetings, reader. This wagon and I, we've many memories together. I could not help reliving some of them just now.
Relieving some of them would be very different.
I suppose some aspects of my past may be of relevance to you, given your role. If there is something that you wish to know, you need but ask.
Wolfred invites you to inquire about his past. Okay, I mean, he certainly is the mystery man here, so let's see. Ask what he did to earn his sentence. I mean, that could be notable, but unlike when we were thinking of asking this question to Hedwyn, I'm not so sure that Wolfred is going to give us a straight answer. He seems like the kind of person to either veil the truth or just outright try to mislead us. I don't know. Let's see what the other options are. Oh, does it give us a description? Wolfred reminds you of someone you heard about long ago in the Commonwealth. Okay. He does seem like, as I was, I think, mentioning before, there are a lot of parallels between what we're experiencing with this group and what we're reading about in the Book of Rites, and you would think that the strongest tie would be Wolfred and maybe the Minstrel as well. But maybe we could more definitively connect some dots there. So maybe that is, in fact, a pretty good question to ask. Let's see. Ask why the Nightwings disbanded. The triumvirates of which you are now a part seems to have a storied history. That is true, but in many ways I feel like that's secondary to this. Ask how he knows the lone minstrel. Two of them seem to be old acquaintances. How long have they known one another? And again, I feel like that would be a good follow-up question to this. But I think this is really the key question. If he does give us a good answer, then great. If not, then, I mean, maybe we'll wish we had asked about these, but let's give it a shot. You ask Wolfred about his past in the Commonwealth, how it is he came to be in the downside.
How rather forward of you, my boy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm not sure if you're gonna take too kindly to that question.
Most of whom I have met during my travels here have been reluctant to approach the subject of one's history before one's exile. Nonetheless, I am happy to tell you.
Okay. Whether or not this is actually truthful or significant enough, gives enough detail for it to be meaningful has yet to, well, we'll see.
As a reader, I assume you are familiar with the stamping press. I owned and operated one.
And you used it to print the Book of Rites. An illegal invention allowing written materials to be published at an extraordinary rate. In 617 AS, the Commonwealth was under siege from within, as anti-theocratic propaganda quickly spread. Were you the one distributing that anti-theocratic propaganda, or were you the one distributing the Book of Rites? I would think the Book of Rites actually... Okay, I'm revising my theory. The Book of Rites, I would think, was more so the established culture, the established book that people followed, and then Wolfred here, sort of along the lines of what he's doing now, was trying to get a bit of a rebellion going here and use one of these stamping presses to distribute this anti-theocratic propaganda to build up that resistance movement. And apparently, my guess would be that he got caught, got exiled, and now he's using the Nightwings to try to team up a group of people to give it another shot. And maybe organizing such a group in the downside is easier than doing so in the Commonwealth directly, and so that's what sort of led to him creating this master scheme, and we'll see.
I took issue with the Commonwealth, the ban on literacy, the interminable wars against the Highwing remnants. I spread the truth about it all with my machine. Under pseudonym, of course.
Ah, okay. My guess is we've heard his pseudonym before.
Still, I knew I was putting myself at risk, and sure enough, my stamping press was eventually discovered and burned to the ground. I, however, managed to elude capture for a while. but not for long enough. Here, in the downside, I chanced upon the Nightwings, who were searching for a reader. In that respect, in my past, I think it's similar to yours. Anyway, that is the long and short of it. Now then, was there anything else?
Oh, we do get to ask him other things. Okay, I think this will help us tie the more peripheral things together. So ask why the Nightwings disbanded. You express interest in knowing more about how the Nightwings came to be here and Volfred's past connection to the group. So the Nightwings predated Volfred by the looks of things, which I'm not sure I would have anticipated at first. I know the Nightwings supposedly have a long history here, but it seems like Volfred has been here quite a long time himself and has had a pretty fundamental connection to a lot of these major things that we're hearing about.
I have been connected to the Nightwings almost since the beginning of my days in exile. They found me, in a manner, as I understand, quite like how Hedwyn and the others found you. Back then, it was a smaller group than we have now. I joined an exile called Arisa, another known as Orlek.
Former exile of the Nightwings, who conducted the rites alongside Volfred and Orlech. Face looks familiar. Orlech is a former exile of the Nightwings, who conducted the rites alongside Volfred and Arisa. Minstrel and the Minstrel's friend, question mark?
Once in a while, we let little Tizo stand with us as well.
Tizo goes that far back as well. That would explain the connection, how they all seem to know each other. Tizo has a history with them.
We let little Tizo stand with us as well. He is rather older than he looks.
Yeah.
The other triumvirates we stood against, they feared us. Only the Tempers presented any threat to us, in any given right. But there was a terrible accident. Arisa, we lost her, and Orlech, he was my friend. He fell from Mount Alodium. We lost him as well, on the night when he was to be free. We were reckless, hasty, and I was powerless to stop any of it. I blamed the rites themselves, the circumstances that put us into danger. The downside has claimed many lives, yet this, it was too much. I vowed never again to don the mask and raiments. I had the Black Wagon cleared and buried, such that it could not be used again. If the Nightwings would rise again, it would be under different circumstances, under new leadership, and toward a different purpose. That is all I wish to say of this, my boy.
Okay, we can still ask him how he knows the Lone Minstrel, and I'm interested to see... I mean, he seemed to suggest that other person that he used to conduct the rites with is now dead, but I don't know. The Lone Minstrel seems mysterious enough that there could be, that some story about him disappearing, but he mysteriously reappeared, and it had been a long time that they were apart, but now everything's all fine and dandy. I don't know. We'll see. You ask Volfred about his history with the Lone Minstrel, and he seems to know quite well. And that would mean Tariq would be a fake name. I don't know, he does look very different, so maybe not.
Tariq was there with the Nightwings when they took me on. His manner has always been much as how you've seen.
I mean, if he was with the Nightwings from the beginning, he was just saying there were only 2 other people on the Nightwings at the time. I don't know.
Although he is somewhat more cheerful now than I recall back then. You can believe that. I think our plan has sparked a little fire in him.
It still says 25%. I mean, we haven't done anything of note since we last checked, so understandable.
He serves the rites and the Nightwings. I have tried to ask him of his past before, but he seems rather reluctant to speak of it.
Maybe the Minstrel is that other person that Volfred had conducted the rites with in the past on the Nightwings.
But then in between, after Volfred thought that that person died, there was this span in which neither the minstrel nor that other person had any ties to Volfred. But then a few years later, Volfred meets the minstrel. Minstrel knows, hey, I used to conduct the rites with you, we used to be on the same team. Volfred doesn't know. So I'm anticipating that there might be a big reveal there, but I don't know, we'll see. Though it is plain that he's not from around here. This being the downside, I respect his wishes for some privacy. Nonetheless, although I do not know too much of him, I count him as a friend. I lost track of him for some time. Okay, also consistent. Though it was he who first informed me that the Nightwings had returned. He and Tizo were instrumental in our meeting. It's been good to see him doing relatively well. Anyway, was there anything else you wished to talk about for now? That's it, by the looks of things. Thank Volfred for his time, and bid him a good rest of the afternoon. Likewise to you, reader. Be well. Okay, nothing else in here, I don't think. So I guess we just bide our time. Pull up with your companions until the stars align once more. Everyone, the amenities are modest here at the Midnight Alcove. Moonlight Alcove. Small landing on the dark side of this sacred mountain. For many years, Volfred smuggled supplies and furnishings to this well-hidden locale. I mean, makes me think that we're gonna find some good stuff here that we could use ourselves. I mean, what are you stockpiling this stuff for, Volfred? But I suggest that you get comfortable. We may be here for some time. As for myself, I have some business to attend to. Alright, very mysterious. Please, leave the wagon in my care, for now. It shall be ready by when you need it next. From the mountaintop, you can see all across the downside. It's impossible expanse staring back at you. The thought occurs to you that you may never see another land beside it. And so, you and your companions wait on the mountaintop in quiet solitude, anticipating when the cycle of the rites begins to turn again. Then, you shall have another opportunity to free one of your own. You may earn back their freedom, one by one. Many moons pass. Then, one evening... May I have a moment, reader? The lone minstrel finds you poring over the Book of Rites, as has been your leaning. As you have been leaning through your stay... As has been your leaning through your stay at this abode, okay? That's oddly phrased, but sure. Begging your pardon, but there's something you may wish to see. Please, follow me. Follow him into the cold night. Look forth, reader sir. Stars shine like you've never seen. Once more, the path towards salvation is revealed, but now, something is different. Stars shine once more. Seek out our destination. Whoa! These are all the places where we went before? Each prior time you searched the stars, they showed you to a single path, but now several rites avail themselves to you at once. Interesting, so we can choose which direction we want to go in now, at least to a certain extent. Henceforth, you may choose from several different rites. Choose your path towards salvation. Very cool. So, okay, I was gonna say, I don't necessarily remember which opponent we went against in any given place, so I'm glad that they show us. So we could strategically plot it out such that we're going against, I don't know, the more difficult people later on, I would think would be the best way to do it. So that way we have the time to
get some people more experience, rank them up, maybe save up for some better talismans and all that type of stuff. I don't know if our enemies are also taking the time in between rights to become more powerful, or if they kind of stay where they were while we get stronger. In which case, that might influence whether we go after the toughest opponents first or last. It's like, for example, these guys are pretty straightforward. I would say they're probably the easiest. Otherwise, who else do we have that we can actually go to? We could zoom out a little bit more, because a little hard to see. Okay, I do remember you. You're the one that has a really aggressive attack. This one... Okay, so this is the worms. I think that's it. Just those three that we can choose between. Yeah, so I think we should start with the easiest one first, on the assumption that we may want more time to power up before we get to the trickier opponents. But, I mean, if they are, in fact... Oh, that's not where we saw them before. They've relocated. Because I remember that horse-looking one was one of the ladder ones that one of the ladder locations that we went to last time around, I think. And that was the first opponent that we faced. So those two, the opponents and the location, I don't think are matching up the same way that they did before. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyways. The stars urge that we go to the nest of Triesta, I think is the way they were pronouncing it, a long way off. Alfred, sir. How are we to reach the nest of Triesta? In due course of time. You know full well, Tariq. Preparations are complete. Alfred doing something to the wagon? You think you see the lone minstrel smile, ever faintly, but cannot be sure. Please ask the others to gather their belongings, rest, and then assemble at the wagon there at dawn. We shall be departing at that time. As you will, sir. The cycle begins anew. As the years advanced, you'll find there ought to be fewer rites this time, until once more we are to traverse Scribe's Gate. Ah, okay. So we don't need to do all of them each time? It gets shorter? Okay, I think I like that. Exactly how many, it is difficult to say. Our next chance at liberty ought to present itself much sooner than before, so let's be ready for it. Now then, see you in the morning, reader. Okay, yeah, I'm glad that we don't have to do every single rite over again, because I think that would start to get pretty time-consuming. Your companions have not yet traveled far from Moonlight Alcove. Word of the news soon spreads throughout the group. And looks like we can't talk to anyone, so we just go. Hit the road. Next morning, Volfred calls everyone together before the Black Wagon. This old wagon is more than it appears. Okay. You go on. With Bertrude's aid, it escorted you across the sea to me. Now, it shall escort us anywhere the stars require. Come and see. Volfred beckons you to join him in the wagon. So, okay, we got a lot of new stuff here. Something has changed about the wagon's interior. What looked before to be old cracks and signs of age now expose various intricate components once hidden from view. You are the Nightwings. You should travel in their customary way. He turns to you, indicating levers and devices marked with symbols from the book. Now, reader, whenever you're ready, you may take us up. I'll show you how. And everyone else, hang on to something. I think we're about to fly. Let's do it. Huh? Oh, I hold it. Oh, okay. Yup, we're flying. After having soared into the sky, the Black Wagon remains aloft. Somehow. Oh, by the scribes! I can't believe it. I never thought I'd soar like this again.
The Nightwings sail the skies again, wheresoever the stars may call for them. There is one catch. The downside provides few locales suitable for landing. Though, we should be able to find at least a couple of landing places near to where we're going. We'll then make way by land or sea toward our destination. Now, without further ado, let us proceed.
Okay, so that to me suggests that although we are flying to the place where we're going to have our rights, we will still need to do a little bit of navigating on ground, kind of like what we had before, where, you know, we have one friend suggesting that we go in one direction and another friend suggesting that we go in another, and we may still bump into a few things along the way. So it's not like we're instantly getting to the place where we're conducting the rite. Next rite, the Nest of Trieste. Your destination, the rites will soon commence here. The stars themselves are to be believed. Let's do it. Exiled harp matriarch lived in solitude among these very cliffs. Need to hold it, apparently. Hold this button. Hold shift to boost. Oh! The unmistakable remains of Sylvia's horse-headed, which protrude from the ash and fire there below. Some have taken it to be a work of sculpture. The Mare Titan, vanquished by the scribe Trieste. Hit this. He broke the land beneath her burning hooves, whinnying vengeance. The tale of a Titan felled by Saint Trieste too. That is more unbelievable than the thought that some daring exiles, over many years, carved the Titan's visage of stone. Be that as it may, the climate and the cliffs are home now to exiled hearts, which is the essence whom you faced here when you first arrived. Even they do not know of the locale's sacred significance. So we can land in two different places. And yes, as I had anticipated, this is where we faced the harps before, not these vagabonds, I think is the type of people that we're going to face this time. So we can land here. The low road of the Nest of Trieste passes through razor-sharp sands. Again, Pamitha, I forget what we were doing. Pamitha, I think. It's gonna change every time, okay? Pamitha says she can sway the coming right against the accusers in your favor here. Versus if we were to go here, the high road to the Nest of Trieste is patrolled by the Commonwealth's ancient enemies. Ruki has a hunch that you may find something of value along this route. I think generally speaking, my strategy has been not to prioritize things of value. Because yes, I mean, they can help us purchase talismans, but we get some talismans automatically along the way, and I'm sure we'll bump into some by accident as well. But, and from those scribe trials. So, I think we should prioritize this. Alright, we're in the Black Basin. Your wagon touches down in the Black Basin, where you first met Volfred and Pamitha as well. You briefly wonder at what might have happened had your paths not crossed. I mean, there was a time when Pamitha first appeared, there was a question as to whether or not we trusted her, whether or not we'd allow her to join our group, and certainly can say I'm glad that we did choose to invite her, because she is pretty awesome. A full inspection of the wagon is already underway by the time you join the rest of the group. Ruki takes care to realign each set of his stabilizers, needing little help from you. Meanwhile, Hedwin greases any intakes that sealed shut during the flight. You soon run into Volfred, who has further details to report. Systems are nominal. This wagon's fit to journey onward at dawn's light. The group disperses then, some taking time for rest, while others tend to personal pursuits. You should have time enough to do the same. Location? The Yonder Crystal seeks Tay. Okay. Instill fear in the accusers.
That is funny.
Alright, well, we have lots of things we can do here. New things that we've seen. And also have Sir Gilman here that we can talk to, so let's go with that. Sir Gilman is shivering there after the Black Wagon's maiden voyage through the skies. Master Reader, this knight is very, very slightly out of sorts, is all. He merely appears terrified, but he assures you his seeming cowardice is but an optical illusion in this case. Hamatha overhears and joins you. Flying's not for everyone, Sir Knight. This knight is heartily concurs, though how anyone at all can stand it, he has yet to understand. Well, let's see. What's it like to swim in the waters of the Sea Dominion? Ah, those glorious, murky waters, engulfed in hideous warfare to be sure, but otherwise a joy to cut across, to feel the coolness of the waves beneath one's gill slits, and the like. Though this knight is not accustomed to his life above the surface. Flying's just the same, Sir Knight. It resists those of us those of us not born to it. I, in turn, have wondered what your seas are like. The thought of swimming fills me with disgust. Though I haven't had to swim, you now have to fly. It's very brave of you, and you handled it better than some harp fledglings that I've met in my day. You'll get used to it. She departs, but you sense Sir Gilman is feeling better after the exchange. Sir Gilman gained +1 hope for the next strike. Wish him well, sure. Okay, and then we have all these other little things here that have since appeared. Let's take a look. The Waking Wood Wisps. The wisps inside provide a scarce bit of light that is needed, all for a low monthly fee. Keepsake from the Black Basin. Or what else is new? Here? Hayes' Scribe Catcher. A bundle of sticks Tay insisted on hanging in the rafters. She believes it to bring good fortune. Huh. I don't remember. Oh, it's this. I was gonna say, I don't remember seeing it. And here we have Magma Mug. Provides a bit of warmth on cold nights and something at which to nod and stare. Keepsake from Black Basin. A lot of keepsakes from Black Basin, apparently. We know that we have one. Oh, and it even says 1 scribe trial available when we hover over the Beyonder Crystal. That's really helpful. I know we saw that it's calling for Tay at the moment. We'll do that very soon. Thought this was new? Maybe? Nautical Bell. We've seen that. I thought this was new, though. It's just our little pulley to make the wagon fly. Alright, let's read the book, and then we'll do Tay's scribe trial. Living in exile. Once, I too roamed free. I remember well those days, in which I was called chief. Traveled all the world over my 4 good paws. I was well adored. I wanted to grow stronger. Here, at last, I have. I shall not mince my words. This place shall either harden you, or kill you. It shall haunt you with old memories. You share the exile's plight. My charge is to alleviate the sting, for you a little bit. Prolong your stay, only for as long as needed. Your charge is to return. We call this place the downside for a reason, but in time, here you can learn to eat, seek out shelter, and to find certain beauty in unlikely places. Oh yeah, that's in the words of Jomur, Manymane, the Alpha Chief. Yes, this is written by one of the other scribes that we haven't seen much of. It's the Kerr one, I believe. Would explain the 4 paws. And we have more as well. Okay, and this is in the words of Molten Belief, I think is actually how they pronounce it, the Wild Witch. Years upon long years have we spent distilling life essence from many things, which all once writhed under the auspices of their mortality. We ourselves cut short. In this, we had no regrets. We learned much, and so, we think, did they. We earned the title Witch, and were forced to flee into the downside. Here, we encountered Sully and Mueller, and soon we gained an understanding of each other. He bade us circumnavigate these lands, catalog our findings. We felt a strong desire to expose the secrets of this land. He wished to yield benefit to those who followed in our wake, and Deldra spoke of them.
More? We're gonna hear from all the scribes? Black Basin. Okay, we picked up a lot of things from here. I guess you can probably see all the pages that you have yet to read here, based on how we still have some shining stuff. I'm guessing we have more, even after this. Maybe after completing the Liberation Rite. I mean, that'd be understandable that we have a lot, but let's see. In the words of Molten Malik, okay, so again, Malik, the continent we called Black Basin shall one day tear itself apart. Arriving upon blackened molten crags, tolerable only by the harp Triesta, we pressed onward toward suffocating wood. This land felt to us somehow primordial, deep in its roots, and noxious crevices lay innumerable clues as to its ancient history. But we had little time to excavate, for our supplies, by then, were thin. Further, we were lost. Our best attempts at circumnavigation all failed. It was Luz Glorian who reached out at last onto the stars. They revealed the way. Then, we at last could see the sacred Mount Elodium there. Okay, and I mean, I'm going to close this, but I suspect we're going to have even more. Yup. I'm going to continue, to look at all these glowing pages. I mean, we may be able to just go one. Four. Weird that we're actually skipping around a little bit. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we skipped to 7 and 6. What happened to these? Or 7 and 8, rather. We lost 5 and 6. Or just didn't find them, or we find them out of order, technically. Okay, so again, this is Malik. Gaining the summit of the sacred Mount Elodium involved no small amount of sacrifice and sorcery in varying proportion. The mountain's energies were palpable, the sensation that we felt, indescribable. The lands we stood upon were closer to the stars than the world we knew. It was upon this highest point in all the downside we first made efforts to concoct this tome, which you now read. It was there that we were stricken with the vision, the cycle of the rites, and felt together the first sense of freedom unlike any we experienced before. That is a subject which our comrades shall illuminate in greater detail. Alright, I'm just gonna continue to do it this way and let it pick which passage it wants us to read. Okay, this looks like a new writer. It is the words of Luz Glorian, 100 Minds the Scholar. Do you feel a kinship with the stars? You owe your everything, perhaps one day, even your freedom. I chased the stars across the river, my genealogy, until they led me here. I demanded they explain to me the paradox of knowledge, or how is it that something can be shared, still contained within ourselves, in its entirety? The stars did not respond, but set me on a quest. I sought the 9 landmarks. They revealed to me, so that someday I would reveal their mysteries to you. These landmarks, emissaries of the stars, are 9 lenses through which we see the land and see ourselves in a new light. So in that case, I'm guessing that sculpture, I'm not sure exactly how to describe it, but the horse head that was carved into the earth that we passed by, that the minstrel was talking about, is probably one of those. And there may be one for each of the locations that we went to before. And there's going to be a lot of these. Okay, we'll see how long it takes to get through all these, and then we'll adapt accordingly, but let's read them. In the words of Luz Glorian, much can be said about the Sisters of the Arch, whom we banished to the great beyond for deeds irredeemable. Suffice
Suffice it that the details of their banishment are written in this book. The sisters and the book became inseparable, not unlike the stars, their light, and the infinite darkness that engulfs them. The stars communicate to us, and you, in turn. The words within this book are but an edifice, a simple surface. Look past the text to the hidden meaning, to the hidden power. Stars above, as they are not mere lights, these are not mere words. You chance upon the Sisters of the Arch within their prison here. Give them our thanks. Saying there's a deeper meaning? I mean, we are following this book pretty religiously. Nine triumvirates, in the words of Howl the Swallow, the Curse. Again, new scribe here. I believe this is the imp. At first, I found it much too difficult to read, much less to write, even to grasp the quill. But the horned one, Muir, implored me. Said this is the greatest gift that he could give me in return. In return for what? I asked. In return for his life, he said. But I did not save your life, I said. You did, he said. We fight about this still. You're as stubborn, more than I. Now, herein, and by his leave, I chronicle the nine triumvirate. For I am of this land, unlike the rest, wish to leave. We knew not everyone could leave who wanted. Seldom would the opportunity arise. Thus, we did organize those striving for the chance into 9 sets of 3. Okay. 9 triumvirates, yep, so those are all the groups that we faced along the way. Presumably there were 9, although I didn't necessarily keep track. Okay, and this is also someone new. In the words of Triesta Titus, blessed born, she's the harp. We, the 8, assembled here together in the downside. We gave our freedom that we may yet have yours, that you may yet have yours. It is an exchange we have not lightly made. It is my charge to ensure that you, should you regain your freedom, first off recognize its qualities, and also use it wisely. You do not need a pair of wings in order to be free. I own wings. Once thought that they could take me anywhere, and then they took me here, where I am bound. It is your charge to be free, not to make the same mistakes. Spring from here, and learn from what we did, and build a new and great society, a free society, with wings spread wide for everyone. Okay, I think we're reaching the end. Yep, that was the last one. Okay, let's hop into Hayes' scribe trial. You've returned. How can I help you, if at all? Well, let's just ask her what's on her mind first. Catch up with her. It's been a while. Let me ask you something, lovely reader. Have you any idea for how long I've been imprisoned here? I mean, it sounds like she's been in here for quite some time. A year? Sandra appears rather youthful. Surely her incarceration could not have been that long. I doubt that. Perhaps Sandra has been trapped within the Beyonder Crystal for a long time already. It's more than 10 years, though. 100 years? Sandra could have been imprisoned for much longer than her appearance suggests. I think that is the case. But 1,000 years? I don't know. I would say 100 or 1,000. I'm leaning toward 1,000. What does this say? Maybe guessing at an absurd number may do something to raise Sandra's spirits a bit. Sure. You guessed that Sandra could have been in her current state of exile since well before the dawn of the current age. At first, she shows no indication that she even heard you. Close. Soon enough, I shall be getting there. I have been imprisoned thus for 837 years. According to my count, at least. It is possible that I've lost track, although, given my state, I can assure you that I have had ample time to verify my arithmetic. She goes silent for a time. Let me give you some advice. If you decide to kill the Emperor, make sure you achieve what you set out to do. Interesting. I mean, we haven't really heard anything about killing the Emperor. This is the first we're hearing of that. I mean, Volfred and his plan, he's
plotting to take over the Commonwealth, more or less, but it has said that he aims to do so as peacefully as possible. However, is this his little secret that in truth he's trying to be a little more violent than we might have originally anticipated? I don't know. Sandra, if she's that old, and Sandalwood is also pretty darn old, and she may have some insights here that we would otherwise be hard-pressed to find, so I think that might be quite telling. I expected my own death, regardless of the outcome of my task. I was not expecting this, certainly not to be telling you about it 837 years later, or however long that it has been. Could she be the person that was teaming up with Treebeard in the past? I don't know. Possibly. I mean, if it's been that long, we don't really know how old he is. I suspect it was that he's been here for a very long time, as he seems to be very foundational, but we'll see. Although, enough of that for now. Let us get back to business. Okay, so let's do the scribe trial. Certainly, my reader. You may but indicate who is to be my subject for this round. It's gonna be Tay. I believe no one else is eligible. Or if they've already finished. And I mean, last go round was with Headwind, and it was tricky. I mean, granted, I did not play very well in that one, as you may recall, but we'll see how things go with Tay. We'll certainly give her a talisman. I do have a theory, actually. I'm going to give her the lucrative contract, because this gives her the ability to get +1 coin, up to 10 per right. I'm curious if this still counts in the scribe trial. I mean, technically that does say per right, which would make me think that it excludes scribe trials, but if it does still count, then that seems like that would have the potential to give us the ability to infinitely generate coins. And if that's so, that'd be a nice thing to know about. You'll see what I mean in a sec. We'll see. If it does work, I'll explain further, but if it doesn't, then it doesn't, and we'll drop it. But as you ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Tay, I must admit, I do sense something from that one. I once had a wild heart myself, quite like her own. We shall see if there's more to her than that. Let us bring her forth. Soon, Tay arrives in heat of the summons. The scribes! I think that if I listen carefully, that I can hear them calling out to me? So-called savages such as Tay are similar to nomads such as Edwin in the rites, but move in quick, sudden bursts. I think that last word was bursts. Didn't quite catch it. Okay, so what do we have here? The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, girl. The place where you reside at present has but a single rule, which is, you answer to me here. Wow, okay, I will. Such naive enthusiasm. Now, be silent. It is plain to me you have much to learn as yet about the life. But you have learned something. I would see you prove it, without the benefit of anyone, save for your reader. Okay. Are you out there to help me with this, mister? Oh, lots of little Tizos. They explode? I bet they explode. Oh, you cut me off. That was not good. Oh, that was very, very close. Oh, that was a bad idea. I went straight at him. Oh, I was trying to get you. But you got me instead. Oops, that was my bad. Oh, also, I should have been paying attention as to whether we're getting coins for this. We're about to find out. Maybe. We're not. Okay. So that's notable. No! See, that's one of the things that I don't understand. Is it seems like... Alright, we're getting really lucky with some of these hits here. Ah, and that was poorly managed as well. Yeah, I need to be doing some jumping here, I think. But,
Alright, and I lost my train of thought. Oh, it's not always clear to me, you know, when two people run into each other, I would think that always both of them get banished. But it seems like oftentimes, for whatever reason, that's not the case. That when that happens, I seem to... Whoa! That wasn't cool! Is it not allowed to hit the fire directly? Like that? Uh-oh. I was not quick enough there. We may still be able to pull this one out. We'll see. But like that. I was charging up an attack. Does that mean that I don't have my aura around me, technically speaking? So that if someone runs into me while I'm charging up, I die? I get banished? I saw that. Okay, it's a close one. We may still be able to pull this one out. Waiting for you to do that. Yep. I want you to waste your stamina. There we go. I think that was it, right? Yeah. Little sloppy at the beginning there, but once we paid a little more attention, played a little more carefully, we made it happen. Okay, how did I do? How did I do? I must admit, you did better than I had expected, girl. You had passed this trial of yours. Some congratulations are in order. To you, and also to your lovely leader. Now farewell. We knew not everyone could leave who wanted. Seldom would the opportunity arise. Thus, something. The world may never know. Did I imagine all that, mister? Because, I hope I didn't. Wow. What is that you have there? You received Alimer's Anklet, or however you say that, for completing Tay's trial. Let's see what it does. Rank 20 Legendary Talisman. Okay, that is the highest rank we've ever seen before. So originally I was thinking that there might have been a limit as to what the highest rank of a talisman you can make would be, and I thought it was 10 because that was the highest we'd seen. But it seems as though apparently you can at least go up to 20, and that is notable because we've been stockpiling all of those items that allow us to increase the level of talismans by 1 or 2 or 3, and so that means that some talismans that we might have previously thought we couldn't make more powerful do in fact still have some room to grow, so that is quite interesting. But let's see what this does. After Tay casts her aura, so when she attacks, it can bounce off objects and solid surfaces. Wow. That sounds pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Now we can... That, well... Had the glittering stuff, but... then when I hovered over it, it went away. Oh, what is this? Stone. Exhibits a flagrant disregard for natural law, thus providing light entertainment. Keepsake from Mount Aloni. Oh! Where'd it go? Eh? Canvas wings is also new. Black Wagon is flight capable, though by which means you do not fully grasp as yet. Keepsake from Moonlight Alcove. Alright, and I think that looks like a good place for us to wrap up now, because we did a lot of book reading, I suppose, but in the end, we still managed to complete the scribe trial for Tay, and, I mean, we messed around a little bit at the beginning there, but still managed to pull it off, so I'm glad for that, and, it does look like we still have a ways to go in terms of getting additional people free, but I'm happy to see that it'll be a little bit of an expedited trip going forward, where we won't have to redo everything that we did in the past, and of course, along the way, we'll get our characters more powerful, as they rank up, and as we can afford better talismans, do more of these scribe trials, so I think that it'll play a lot differently, because we'll have a lot more strategies that become available to us as we make some of those character improvements. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.